All right, what's up, guys? We're back here at the Esports Charity Cup stream. Right now, we're going to be introducing Coach Connor Alne into this stream. We're going to be asking him a couple of questions, and yeah, let's get right into it.
Hey. Oh, welcome, everyone. I'm excited to be here. I haven't been on Twitch since last year, so this is fun. I'm sorry that my camera looks like this. I'm stuck at the office, so content over quality right now, I suppose, for me.
It looks like you definitely have I have my light box on up here, but I can get my forehead sheen, my baldness out with this awesome social distancing cup, because if you get under there, I would blind everybody.
Yeah, I'm trying a new foundation this morning, and it's called Ghost.
I wonder if you guys actually might have a makeup room that you probably need to set up here soon with all the content.
Yeah, we need a green room. I need like a dress rehearsal room with like fruit roll-ups and endless like Red Bulls and things.
Well, thanks, Coach Alne, for coming in. I'll go with the first question here. What is your spirit animal?
My spirit animal is the Gila monster because they're adorable, but they can also have a venomous bite and take you out. So don't try me.
Oh, so playing Call of Duty with you, I do know how that bite is, and I've never played against you, but with you, and luckily with you and not against you, because I would feel like I am trash.
Like, I wouldn't say it to their face, but you gotta have some fun.
So, as a player, as a person who's just at the beginning steps in high school, how exactly did you get where you are today? You've gone through so many scenes, so I just curiosity.
Yeah. That's a great question. It's worth noting my journey is not going to be the same for everyone now. When I got into esports, the scene was a lot different than it is now, but I still think there's certain things you can take away from it. I'm an old school Call of Duty guy. Call of Duty is the first game that introduced me to the word esports back in high school. I was a Call of Duty player. I had a friend that played Halo, and he was extremely good at Halo back 2011, 12, put you in that kind of time frame. And I remember he got a sponsorship, and he got like a free shirt sent out to him, and he got to walk around wearing this like sponsored shirt. And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I was probably like the only one, but I thought that was super cool. And I started playing Call of Duty competitive, got to college in 2013, and that's really when everything kind of clicked for me and kicked off. So in 2013, I started the esports club at my college at the University of Iowa. I had to set up the club, and I had to go in front of a board and pitch to them how it was different than the video game club and like the benefits of esports. And we actually got that started up my freshman year. And at the time, I was in an entrepreneurial program at the University of Iowa doing something completely unrelated. So I spent the year grinding on Call of Duty, trying to see what I could working with my club. And ultimately what I found was that there was like no real black and white way for me to make a living off of this, right? Like there was not a really good established path. I was playing game battles and trying to get my pro points, but that was about it. So I made the decision the year after that, I want to get into the business side of things. Again, 2014, esports is tiny, especially here in America. You got MLG doing their thing, UMG, and that's about it. So I started hosting tournaments. I ran Call of Duty tournaments, Halo tournaments, Super Smash Brothers tournaments, League of Legends, Overwatch, once that kind of got popular. So I did that for a while. I did that for a couple of years, literally didn't tell my parents, opened up 2 credit cards, maxed them out, bought a bunch of equipment, and just started traveling the country, renting ballrooms out of hotels and any place that would rent to me that had internet I could plug into. We just set up an event. We'd partner with any clubs or anything that we could find. And we had a lot of fun doing that. Ran that for a couple of years, and then ultimately decided to open up a brick and mortar store that was an esports training facility in Iowa City. So the goal there was, it was kind of like a LAN center, but instead of paying to come play, you get a membership with your team and you guys could come train and practice together and sign up for tournaments. So I did that for a year, finished up my degree, and that's when I ended up coming out to Kansas at Ottawa University to start up their college esports program. Did that for a year, was the head coach there. That's where my name comes from. Coached that team, moved up to executive director, and that was when I got hooked up with Bubba here at the Varsity Esports Foundation. He snagged me up, came over, director of esports, worked on esports training, and now I'm at HSEL and making content full time.
Out of all those things in the past, what is that top moment during any of that time? What was the biggest, most influential moment for you, or most memorable moment out of all the things that happened in esports and gaming for you?
That is such a good question. There's some early memories that I think are always going to be the fondest. So for example, the first event I ever tried to run, it was in the winter in Iowa. I used the club at the university to rent a ballroom for like $50 or something like that. I just bought all this equipment, and we were going to try our first time to host a big, it was right after the new Call of Duty came out. That would have been Black Ops 4, Black Ops 3. No, Black Ops 3. So we set up this tournament, we set up this Eventbrite page, and we started marketing it. And we actually caught some traction on Twitter, got some retweets, ended up having our Eventbrite page trending, max maxed out. I should have said it's a free event. We were just getting started, and we maxed out registration at like 16 teams. Got that registered. Go to host the event. The day before the event, there was a blizzard. Roads closed down. No one could travel out of state, and most of our registrations were out of state. So what ended up happening was we had this giant ballroom with like 300 chairs set up and a stage set up. 3 teams showed up and no spectators. You think where I'm going with this is, oh man, that was a huge letdown. But I remember standing there with 2 teams playing on stage and this 14-year-old screaming you're bad at these college kids. And it was the moment when I was like, yeah, I want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, I love this so much. So I think that's the biggest moment. I've got a lot of little ones at my LAN center, getting to play 2v2s in Call of Duty. Obviously, my first MLG event was really cool. I think the big moment, too, is also getting to call your parents and say, hey, my full-time job is esports now. That's a big moment for everyone in esports, I think. Actually, I get a little emotional talk about it because it's a really tough journey for a lot of us, especially back then. No one thought this was a thing. No one thought you could make a living doing this. I was supposed to go to business school and work for some Fortune 500 company, and that was not my path, and I wanted to prove that it wasn't. That was a big moment too.
Yeah, that sounds so amazing. That's something that, I hope that one day I could experience. As somebody coming from the bottom level right now, I mean, there's middle school, but from high school, having knowing that you've completed and you've started this course at the college level, how would you recommend starting a high school club for everybody here who's in high school and they don't really have that organization that they can turn to?
Yeah, great question. I love high school esports. That's why I work here now. So high school esports, and I saw the question in the chat, like, how do I find people who are passionate about me? High school esports clubs and teams are the best way to go, because even if that's not where you're going to end up going pro from, it's where you're going to find like-minded individuals. It's where you're going to get to join, have a sense of community with other kids, get to compete, have fun. Such a great experience. So how do you get started? Really simple. We're actually building, it's literally a 2-step process. If you're a student and you want to get started at the High School Esports League, you are going to talk to all of your friends on Discord, in person, whatever, and you're going to try to get as many people as possible to say, hey, I'm interested in this. No minimum number. Let's say it's 5 kids. If you can get 5 kids to put down their name that say, I want to be part of an esports program, get those names together. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start reaching out to your teachers and anyone you know at the school that you might have a good relationship with, and ask them if they're willing to sponsor an esports club for your team. We're actually building an email template, so we're going to make it even easier for you guys that you can just send out to help get a teacher on board with sponsoring your program. And once you get a teacher on board, all they have to do is go to hsel.org, plug in your information, and you can register a club for free. That's the initial progress to get it started. From there, there's a million ways you can go with it, and we have what's called the Esports Education Network to help those teachers out. But as a student, that's all you have to do. If you can get a teacher convinced and get them to register your club, we'll start working with that teacher to get things going on our end, as far as making sure they're educated on how to run the club, how to help grow the club, what games to offer, how to get funding, all that stuff.
Since you're a college coach, you've been a college coach, you're director of esports for college, I would love to know, and I think a lot of people want to know, and I think a lot of your TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram audience, that I do want to ask this question. The question in the chat was, what is your total social media platform followers?
Like 330,000, I think.
Yeah, 330,000. So nothing really, not really anything. Okay, great. So my question is, how can these students, and even ones that are in college right now, how can they get into college for esports? What's the route? What's the path? What's a simple thing what's some first steps they can take?
A couple different routes depending on where you're at with things. If you're finishing up high school and you weren't part of a high school esports program or anything like that, are absolutely square one, no history with anything. The first thing you're going to want to do is obviously pick the game that you're trying to go to college for. So just make sure that you have an understanding, even if you're not super great at it. Let's say it's Overwatch and you're a gold player. Just make sure you know what game you're focused on, and make sure you understand how that game works at the professional level, as far as just do a little research on the events, the tournaments you're going to run into, like open division, that sort of stuff, just to get a baseline understanding of how the competitive scene works. That's important when you're going to talk to the recruiter, because they want to make sure that you understand how whatever esports title you're going for works. And then in order to get found right now in esports, your best bet is going to be you reaching out to the teams. If you're not involved in anything, there's no way they're going to find you. So you're going to have to take it on your own to reach out to these guys. So the best way to find esports programs, honestly, is Twitter's a really great one. If you just search a college with esports at the end end of it, they probably have a Twitter handle. You can also, there's some directories being built. There's a directory at NACE's website to search for colleges, but honestly, like Twitter is going to be a really easy one for you, operating under the assumption that you have no history in esports. The best way and what's going to help you a lot is if you're part of the high school esports league, join our Discord. We have, I don't even know how many recruiters, it's over 50 recruiters now for colleges that are actively looking for students to join their program. And then winning and participating in HSEL events is a really good way to get your name out there for college recruiters to know who you are and know that you're taking esports serious. So that's a really good bet. But ultimately, you got to take it on yourself. You got to reach out. I always say if you reach out to 5 colleges as someone graduating and going into college, you'll get an offer from one of them. You'll get an offer. It's such a growing field at college. We'll take on a lot of students. Even if you're not a great student, not a great student, be a great student. If you're not a great player, if you're not a super high rank, don't worry about it. There's opportunities for developmental players. There's opportunities for you to take on roles such as team management, social media management, helping finding scrims, shoutcasting, broadcasting. There's so many different opportunities. All you have to do is make a good impression on that coach and they'll take you on and they'll find a role for you. I promise.
Is there a required GPA for college esports?
Yes. So each school is going to be a little bit different, but you have to be in good academic standings for the school, and you also have to be able to be accepted into the school. So a good guideline is a 2.5 GPA or higher should be good enough to get you accepted into most college programs. And you're going to have to keep a minimum GPA, depending on the college, of around 2.5. Some are even higher at 3.0. So yes, you do have to keep in good academic standings. You also have to make sure that you're a full-time student. You can't be a part-time student. You can't be part-time online. Essentially, it kind of follows high school. Like if you can get accepted into the college, then you're good. And then you just have to maintain that standing with them. There's also, it's worth noting, if your GPA is not great, if you struggled in school, didn't have motivation, whatever the reason may be, colleges at the community college level do have esports programs as well. And that could be a great opportunity to boost your GPA for a year, get some experience, and then transfer into a larger university. 1 year of college credits is enough to cancel out your high school GPA. So if you can establish 1 year of a GPA at the college level, your high school GPA no longer matters. So if you did struggle in school, that's a really easy way to go around it and also save some money.
In this age, right, there's a lot of kids such as myself. I have a personal YouTube channel, right? Clout chasers. You actually did it. How does someone become TikTok famous? Like, this is just random question from me to you.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great question. I love talking about social media just because it's so relevant and what we have going on right now. And it's difficult because I like to call what happened to me and me getting a following on TikTok is what I call controlled luck. I've been a content creator since about 2015. That's when I started my YouTube channel. I started on Vine. I've been posting content for a very long time. No one paid attention to me up until last year. So that's 4 years of me editing videos, putting out videos to no viewers, and just really working on making sure I'm learning the skills I need and improving my craft. That when the opportunity came, I was prepared. I knew how to make content. I knew how to put it out, and I had crafted my ability to be on camera and storytell. So that's part of it. So then TikTok comes around. The reason I think I was able to get a following on TikTok was because I was early and I had some experience in what I was doing. What I like to talk about is when it comes to content, you need creativity, character, and legitimacy. Those are the 3 things, whether you know it or not, that you look for in a content creator. That's why you find their page. It's why you follow them. And then it's why you stick around. So you have to have character. Your character has to be either relatable or intriguing to a viewer. They either need to see themselves in you or they need to see something in you that they don't have. That's how you get people to like you. Creativity is how you separate yourself from all the competition. Social media is flooded with millions of everything. You know it. There's more stuff uploaded to YouTube than people will ever watch. So creativity is how you separate yourself. And then legitimacy is why people find you. So I had that going for me. I was an esports coach at the time when TikTok came around. And this was also at the time where esports started to get a lot of attention and news and media. And so I had that legitimacy for me. I was already an esports coach. I had the creativity part down because I'm a weirdo who's been making videos for 4 years. Luckily, my personality fit in with a lot of esports kids. I mean, that's why I'm in this community, is because these are my people. So I think that's what worked for me. So I get on TikTok October of last year. I start posting, and at the time, I was very early to it. No one was posting esports. No one was posting vlogs or day in the life stuff about gaming. It was either gaming clips or dancing and singing. Like that was all that was on the app back then. So the creativity really came in, and I was posting stuff that people didn't know about. So that's kind of how it blew up. And then from there, it's just been kind of maintaining and coming up with new ideas. And I've honestly paid attention a lot less to what other people are doing lately, because I think that's also a trap you can fall into TikTok, is constantly falling for these trends and posting content just because you think other people are going to like it. It's a huge trap, and it doesn't work. You got to post what you like. And what my most successful videos have been trendsetters, not me following a trend. When I follow a trend, it doesn't do that well. When I post a video that is a new format that people haven't seen but gets a lot of attention, then everyone starts recreating it. And that's when I know I did something right, and then I move on to the next. That was a long-winded answer, but I think that's the foundation for any content creator as far as what you need to be thinking about if you want to grow a platform.
You're like a taller male version of Charlie D'Amelio, right?
Not at all. No.
How you say your name?
Yeah, I think you said it right.
How you say your name? Yeah, right. I was surprised if I said that right.
And no, I'm not saying I'm alone in this by any means. All of my favorite content creators, especially the Call of Duty guys that I know on TikTok, they all did the same thing. Like Lucci, he was on it and we connected early on, and then he found his format and he started posting it and he killed it. Sally the dog, same thing. We met early, he found his format and then he blew up. And all of their formats and all the things that they were posting, they didn't copy other people. They tried copying other people. I mean, we've all done it. We've all copied other people's formats, and it never works out as well for you. So you have to find your own voice, your own format, and that's how it works on TikTok.
Coach Alne, my final question for you tonight is: you were part of the Varsity Esports Foundation as a staff, and now you're a volunteer, still creating content for us, now doing content management for HSCL, High School Esports League. What is the purpose of EEN, and what are some courses that they can take on the Esports Education Network?
Yeah, nice little plug there. The Esports Education Network, it's a beautiful network that we invented of esports content. The goal is, if you want to get into esports, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to get the proper information. A lot of people are trying to come into esports for a lot of reasons, one way or another. We wanted to make sure that we were sharing content that was developed by people in esports. It was the proper content, and it was in the right format to be able to teach anyone that wants to get involved. We have courses such as what is esports, why high school esports matters, how to start a K-12 club. Basically, we have courses for anyone from, I have no idea what esports is, a parent, kid, whoever, all the way to people in the professional world that are trying to enter the esports market, whether it be through a job or sponsoring a club or anything like that. It's just a really great resource that we've built to help anyone trying to sell their parents or teachers on esports, so that it's not just coming from you. Here's a professional course that was put together with all the proper information you need.
The last bit of confidence to help administrators, parents, teachers, the naysayers that we all have dealt with in the stigma of esports. How do we get esports to go in one ear and stay?
I'll tell you the biggest mistake we make when we're trying to talk about esports clubs and when we're trying to talk to our parents about it, and that's talking about money. We fall into this trap of thinking esports is only legitimate because of all of the money these professional players are making. And the problem there is, it sounds like a get-rich scheme to your parents if they have no idea what it is. To even the people that kind of understand it, they also know that your chance of making $1 million off of esports is minuscule. It's the same as becoming a quarterback in the NFL, right? Selling that dream is not the way that you get people to listen. The reason high school esports matters is because it gives you a community, it gives you a team to compete on, it gives you the ability to work with a coach to develop leadership, communication, all of these skills that you normally get in other sports or outside club activities. You get that with esports, but you get to compete in a game that you love. Your hobby becomes a team sport that you get to work with all your friends. So don't sell the money, sell the team aspect. You're learning leadership, communication, and it's opening up opportunities for you to go to college. It's opening up opportunities for you to have a very unique job in the future that you really like. So sell the opportunities, sell the leadership, sell the teamwork, don't sell the money. Ultimately, if you don't feel comfortable talking in front of people about esports in high school, obviously, I don't know if you're in class or online right now. If you're in class, just wait till you're alone with your teacher. If you're online right now, emails. And feel free to message me on Instagram. I'll let you know as soon as we put out that email template, because we're going to make it super simple for you. You literally just have to plug in your school, a couple things about you, and we'll share all the information that you need to try to get them on board. We're working to make it as simple as possible for you guys.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our interview with Coach Connor Alne. I learned something. I hope you all did. That was very beneficial.